Right, we should be live. Yes, we are. God. Huh. It's interesting. Hey! Oh, wrong one. Fucking freezing. Right. Do do do. Morning, morning. It is freezing in here this morning, so I'm keeping my coat on for a bit. Oh my god. How are we all? Just missed a cracking setup. A cracking setup. Boo boo doo doo doo. Right. Just gonna get rid of, no, I'm gonna get rid of my table for that for a second. Candle 3, I think. Candle 3. Maybe he's not updated it yet. Doo -doo. Whoa. Bullish. Just take that off for now. That's quite a big candle. Let's stick on gold then. Hope we're all well. It was a nice drop. As always, just as I come on and miss the setup. So let's talk through it. Here's our 4-hour candle. Won't extend the hourly just for a second. Alright. Here's our 4-hour candle. We get our first hour. We take the low. Right? So previous hour low, previous 4-hour low. So first indication of a bearish switch. I think the previous hour took the low as well, right? So let's have a look. Yeah, so there's the previous candle. So there's your switch there, right? So switch bearish, inside bar, take the low of the inside bar, take the low of the previous candle as well. We don't quite do that, so even more so. So when we've taken an inside bar, we've got a, this had a probably an 80% probability of going. I'd say it's probably about 80%, if not more, 83%. Although it would go. See, this is an inside bar, right? There's the low of our previous candle. So this is an inside bar. So when we take that low, right, it gives us a statistical edge that this low will go. So first 10 minutes, we take the low of the first 10 minutes, so segment 1, right? Dynamic TP is under the 0 line. And then here is your 19-minute candle. 18, 19. So on there, we could have gone short. Stop at the top. And then you could have targeted either the low or 1R. This is the entry that, as we get that pullback underneath, it's just a bit early in the hour. Like that. Let's have a look at liquidity. Yeah, that was a liquidity level as well. We've only got all the way down there. So even that low there could have been your push target. Possibly could have reduced that with the EMAs. But yeah. That was your setup. Even just tapping back into the 4-hour, right? Even when we come below here, you could have taken a entry back at the 4-hour. There's an open VIBs here on those. But we were not there for then. Right, so we've gone bullish. Let's just change that for the 30-minute. We don't need that anymore. Just hide off. Come down into this fair value gap. Be interesting to see how it reacts. Gets a little busy with the VIBs. Just going to reload. Wait a second. Man, it has been a crazy day. If anyone hasn't already, you've got 80% off of TradingView at the moment, which comes around every now and again. It's well worth getting the discount. So for premium, there is 70% off. And then ultimate is 80% off. So premium is $17.98 a month. Just trying to think. The only thing it doesn't have is tick-based market data. First priority support. But the next level up is quite a lot more. You go from 17.98 to 47.98. So I think for everything that we're doing, I think it's premium's fine, right? There's 6 days left. And yeah, it works out at normally £599. Yeah, so it's a saving of just under 400, just under £400. So I've still got 160 days left, but they will add that on to if you do renew. So I am considering it as well myself. So we're expecting this to be our 4-hour high. Hang on. Yeah, so you can see like in the first hour for this 4-hour candle, we've got 63% by an hour and a half. We're at 70 odd, right? So within the first hour and a half on gold of this 4-hour candle, and it is this particular 4-hour candle, not generic. So this is candle 3, right? So if you think about the first 4-hour candle that forms, there's 6 in total. So this is candle 3. And you can see in the first half an hour, second half an hour, and third half an hour. So you can see the stats just drop off massively after that point. So you can expect by that point our high's in, right? So our 4-hour high, which I think will be this one, I'll have a look, is very likely in now by about, so we're bearish, so 57, 64, 74, 76%. So if you think we're well past the half past, so this we expect to be our 4-hour high. So the reason I'm trading gold is because the 4-hour candle at this time of the day is much stronger with gold. So if this is our 4-hour high, right, we might get some pullback, maybe back into our 4-hour alpha box, but we don't expect the high to go, right? So it could be a little pullback just inside of here, even this VIB that's passing on. So we could see a pullback into the 4-hour and then a continuation down. But right now, we don't expect the 4-hour high to go. Our previous 4 hours here, so that's no, we're not going to get that return to the 4-hour. Let's just check where the daily is. Wait for it to load. Okay, so here's our current daily. So possible target, return to the daily. We're corrective bullish on the hourly, which is interesting. Trend AI is bullish. It's not even weak yet. So we just need to be careful of that. Dynamic TP is well under. I do like us coming back down to the daily. But we need to wait now another 9 minutes. Let's wait for our next hourly candle. Morning, 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 morning. Yo! So yeah, let's just do it, while we're waiting for that, let's just do a comparison of this 4-hour, right? So we're talking about the 4-hour that started in New York time at 2 AM, right? So this 4-hour candle on gold, you can see within the first hour and a half, within the first hour, we're like 60 odd %, and then the second hour, we are, well, sorry, in the first hour and a half, we are well over 70%. So really strong stat for that 4-hour candle, right? If we then look at NQ, you can see it spreads out. It takes longer for that to come in. We only have, especially on the bearish side. So we've got 50 in the first hour. We've got like 56%. But then look at that, segment 3 has got a high probability potentially of putting in the hour. So it's just a little, it's not as clean, right? It's going to take longer, and you're going to have to be careful of that potential reversal in segment 3, which is probably London Open, right? So you got the London Open, and then that's impacting on NQ quite a lot. Bit of volatility kicking in at that point. And then after that, if the high and low went, now your stats are dropping off, right? So at that point, you can be confident. So it's just taking a little bit longer with NQ for this 4-hour candle. And then if we look at CL, same thing again, right? CL in the morning, this 4-hour candle, it's not clean, right? Our high and low data is not giving us that much an advantage at this point. ES, same thing. However, gold, this 4-hour candle, we get strong high and low data. So at this point on gold, during this 4-hour candle, we are then trading with a statistical edge, which is that the high and low data of this 4-hour candle is good, right? So the beauty, obviously, because the 4-hour candle is longer, you have got more things going on, more volatility kicking in. But if we look at like NQ, we can find some like high probability 4-hour candles. So I know that the 10 a.m. candle is really strong. Look at that, right? Within the first half an hour, 63% of the time you're going to get your high and low in the first half an hour. And then obviously within the first hour, you're already well above 70, close to 80%. So basically, and then look at the stats drop off. So the first hour in New York, so from 10 a.m. after New York Open, so the first half an hour, you wait for the first half hour. Then you've got your new 4-hour candle, and the stats for that 4-hour candle and NQ are incredible. So it's like a really key time to trade, right? For NQ. So if I show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go down time frame, so it'll zoom in a bit. So you'll lose the stats, because obviously we're looking at a much higher time frame. Right, so this would be your time window. Here, right? So this is yesterday. So what do we know? We've just looked at those stats. In the first hour, you're already close to 80% of the time having your high and low in, right? So first hour, we come up. Here's our 4-hour alpha box. We take the low of the 4-hour alpha box, tap back in, and distribute out. And that is all in with us expecting this to be our high. We're expecting a bearish candle. We're expecting distribution. You've got liquidity below, as you can see. So could have quite easily targeted this liquidity. Obviously, it goes on a lot further. But that is trading with a statistical edge, right? High probability. When this low goes here, right, we're going bearish. This is our high. We've gone below the 4-hour alpha box. Tap back in. See you later. And at the same time, right, dynamic TP comes under the 0 line. Nice tap back in. And down it goes. And that's a trade window during New York that is just nailed on with a statistical edge, right? You're waiting for that first hour to give you your high probability, high or low, and then that's it for that next 4 hours. You've got a probably it's going to be above 80% probability that your high and low is already in for that 4 hour. So great trade window for NQ. But obviously right now we're trading in the morning, and therefore I want to be trading this 4-hour candle, candle 3 for gold, because it gives me the highest probability. Now if I'm just going to trade an hour, then obviously we can look at the hourly stats and find some really high probability hours, but right now I'm trading a little longer than an hour, so I need to have slightly higher time frame stats in line. So here's our tap back in to our 4-hour. Hang on, I've only got in with one. Oh no, it's on gold, that's fine. So I can do two things. I can trade the 4-hour high, in that statistically we expect this to be our 4-hour high, and go for a 1-to-1. I can trade a tight stop above the current hour, stop above the current 4-hour, right? I can do that. Or I can just play for a straight 1-to-1, in that right now we've taken the low, we are just about to go into segment 2 on the hourly, and based on my data, based on the 4-hour data, right, we're at this point. So if we're bearish, we've got a 47%, 17, we've just done this, gonna add this up again. 64, 74, 76, 84. So by this point of the time, 84% of the time, our high's in for this 4-hour candle. Doesn't mean it can't go, but right now, you know, it's a high probability that it is. That being said, that's a nasty push. So we're down 340. Okay. So it's probably about 500. That's fine. We closed with a VIB as well. So it'd be nice to use that, reject back off it, but that was a pretty nasty rejection, right? Do do do. I'm having a horrid week. I mean, it's one of them. If it doesn't play out, it doesn't play out. It's not high probability of it switching bullish, so no worries. Good morning, Aaron. We were just going through the 4-hour candle on gold at the moment. I'll show you where we got to. So this is this particular 4-hour candle. So it's the third 4-hour candle of gold, right? So I've just gone up to the 30-minute and it's half-an-hour segments. So you can see we've already done the first 2 hours of gold, and we've taken the low of the first hour. So we've already gone through. It's roughly 84% of the data. So we're expecting that most of 84% of the time now our high is in, and our current high is in segment 1. And our current low is in segment 4, so not super high probability, much more likely that obviously we're bearish. This is a good 4-hour candle for gold. If we were to look at the same 4-hour candle NQ, the stats aren't as good. So this is why I'm trading gold this morning. So if we look at NQ for the same time, you can see it's not as strong, it's more spread out. Same thing on CL, the 4-hour candles not as spread out. The hourly candles are much cleaner, but obviously I'm trading a period of time. I'm not just coming on for a set hour. So I'm trying to find a 4-hour candle where I've got, sort of 3 hours where I've got a higher time frame to help me as well. So the 4-hour, this current 4-hour on gold is cracking. I've shown you on NQ, the 10 a.m. candle is brilliant, incredible stats, almost 80% high and low data within the first hour. Just mega. So you'll be able to do this on both the hourly and the, so individual hours. Obviously, and then the 4-hour. So if you are trading a set period, you can just pick out a set period. God, it's freezing in here today. Pew, 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 doo, doo, doo. I'll tell you what, the last 5 days has been some of the worst. It's probably the worst results I've had in like the last, I don't know, 6 months, something like that. I've had a bad couple of weeks. Actually, to be fair, it was just sort of at the latter end of last week. I had a really good start to the week. I think I was down like -1 on the lives last week, after being up about 4R by Tuesday. Mind you, we missed a couple of trades yesterday, which would have been nice. Got me sizing wrong. I know I've got contracts taken off. We keep going, keep following the statistics though. So all I've done is I've just played a 50% retracement in this 4-hour candle, right? Our 4 hours bearish on the algo, 60%. We've already taken the low. Segment 1 is the first hour, right? We're already halfway through. So like the majority of the data has already gone over 80%. And we took the low here. So the low was again in segment 4. And then we had this nice rejection against the 4-hour here, this nice tail bar. So I took the entry, stop above the 4-hour high, expecting that over the next 2 hours, this is going to be a bearish candle. It's likely we'll take the low. Obviously, we then came very aggressively up. We are still below though, right? So this is one of the things that I was looking at as well, that obviously dynamic TP is below. We have got very strong trend AI and the daily levels here. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, this is not a nice retracement. But we'll see. right now I'm playing with the probability in my favor, right? Yeah, it's great for Euro USD. Absolutely. Euro USD's got some great stats. So I used to, if anyone's come from It's Impossible, so the power hour, right? That was one of my main trading hours for Euro USD, which is the previous hour, or now's the power hour. Statistically, that hour is incredible on Euro USD for the hourly stats. We'll go into it and get it all for you, but you can see this 4 hour again, London Open has a big impact. So once you've got London Open out the way for Euro USD, then your 4 hour candle goes nice and clean. The hourly candle though, so the hourly candle, which is now, so the UK time 9 till 10, I think it's 3 till 4, is the hourly stats are absolutely, like, I think it's close to 80% in the first 20 minutes. You get your high and low of this hour on Euro USD. So really, really good. But that data will be releasing shortly. We're just finishing up some bits and bobs. Right, let's neaten chart back up again. How do I do? So, you know, we're below the 1 hour, above the 4 hour. Not great. Want to see us break back down, right? We definitely don't want to see this come above. We don't want to see bounces like that. The current MACD is above, so again we'd want to see that come below. Yeah, it's not great. The only thing I'd say is I'd take that setup every day. Not bothered about this one. This is absolutely bang on. And that's what's really important as well, right? If I'm going to play a statistical edge, I need to make sure that every time I have that statistical edge, I take that setup, because over the long run, the setup will play out for me. What I can't be doing is sometimes taking it, sometimes not, right? I've got to make sure if I'm playing a statistical edge that I am trading that particular hour statistical edge. So I closed 1,000 before. Yeah, so I think we've just been taken out. So I'm down, what, 900 today so far. That position's now gone, yeah. We were up 1.5. So we've now taken that, so we're bullish. We're all bullish. Let's flip, see if we can't get a long trade now. We are 11 minutes in. We're obviously looking at these highs now as our target. We've got an early buy. Target is here. I think that's the retracement. So I missed this one on the way into work, which we spoke about at the beginning, right? Beautifully, we took the low of the inside bar, we took the low of the previous hour. I need that back on. So we switch bearish, we come under the 0 line, tap back into the 4 hour, and on the way down we go. So that was a nice trade. I missed that on my way in. If we had been bullish, this would have been a nice trade as well, right? Coming back above the 4 hour. But because we'd taken the low, we weren't expecting this 4 hour high to go. Otherwise, where you've come above and you've corrected and you tap back into that 4 hour, that potentially would have been a nice trade out. But because we didn't have the edge of the 4 hour, we wouldn't have taken it. I'm sure my wife thinks I don't do anything when I tell her every morning that I'm coming on YouTube, and then she just starts texting me. Do 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 do. So here's our next level for liquidity. We've got 5 more minutes until we get our 20 minutes, and then we can play a lazy boy, right? So we're going to go for 50%. Algo's above sequence 1, 96%. Dynamic TP is now coming above the 0 line. Trend AI is bullish. 4 hours bullish. Lazy boy. Do 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 do. Held that VIB nicely. Fair value gap out of there. It's interesting, we had this inverse fair value gap as well, right? Which we came closed. We close under it? Oh, just. And then price comes below. We come above. 4 more minutes. We want to see this close above the 50%. So we've taken the high of the previous hour now, meaning that we've got, we did it, when did we do it? Segment 2. So we have got a probability returning to the open. So this is the open for the hour. Right? There. We have taken the high of the previous hour in segment 2, which gives us about a 68-69% probability of this hour being bullish. Our algo is bullish. Higher time frame's bullish. Our 4 hours now bullish. Fucker. If we can close above the 50%, we get the additional statistic on our side. That's it. When am I going more deep into the alpha boxes? Yeah, I mean we did a session last Tuesday. We can may possibly repeat it today. But yeah, I'll be doing a bit more on it. There are some great trades in it. You can get some really good. I mean, it's ultimately a level that you expect price to break towards, right? So a lot of the time, when we talk about a candle, we talk about the manipulation, right? So we get manipulation, then we get the true move, right? And this is where you get your wick, potentially a liquidity grab, and then this is your alpha box. And basically price comes through, often gives a little tap back, and then you get your distribution away. Right? So a good example of that is this one here, right? So this is where the candle opened. We manipulated down, potentially trapping people going short. Stops above. We then flip. Oh, where's my drawing? We then flip bullish. Now normally when we do that, we'll have a little tap back in, and then this is our alpha box around the open, right? So I'm just going to set my limit order on the lazy boy. And I'm going to do another limit on the alpha box. Okay, so what the fuck? Have I just gone in that trade? Dipshit. Oh my god. Hang on a second. Screwing this up. I'll just add manually if we go below. So we would expect when we've broken back above to at least retest this area. But those prices also impact price later on as well. Because if you think about all this here, right? The previous candles are all relevant to the current candle that's going on, right? What happened with price at those points? Why does an order, like order blocks? Why is an order block? So people use an order block, right? In terms of where price has seen volatility, they would mark out this area and potentially expect price to come and volatility kick back in and take price back. So it's very similar in that at what point did that volatility kick in? It's like we came down, and then as we flipped, the volatility kicks in. So your alpha box sits around that level, right? And it's all about to do with a candle. So if our current daily candle's going to be bullish, right? We knew we're going to be above, and this box represents the potential of what we did. Now, the only thing we didn't do when we started is come back the other way. Now we did wick down here to put in a small daily wick. But yeah. Think of it, you can always think of it like a pivot as well, right? So look at this current 4 hour. So here's the current 4 hour, this blue box. Let me just clean up everything just to give you some more visual, okay, make it really clean from a visual point of view. Right. So here's our current 4 hour. So we come up, and then as we flip the box, we pivot, right? So we pivot bearish, we pivot bullish. So you can see that 4 hour break up, retap, continue on, break down, retap, continue down. So it's almost like a pivot level, right, where price can pivot from. But we are expecting price to have some opposing direction to the true direction. So we'll expect price to come below before giving its true direction, right? And obviously this is just returned back to the open. So this is a good example as well, right? So price comes in, puts in its wick or manipulates, people are going short. We come up, break back above, retest, continue on. We've put in our high, alpha box switches on the hourly bearish, and we return, okay? So each hour helps you with directional as well, right? Which direction's price going based on what the hour's currently doing. So this hour was bullish, and then this hour starts and goes bearish. And then we get that volatility kicking in at the end. But 24 minutes, we've still got time for this entry. I just need to keep my time right. So yeah, that is the point of the alpha boxes. You're basically looking for price to do its manipulation. Where are we? So price opens, does its manipulation, breaks under to give its true direction, and then usually that, and then you've got your alpha box, which will be around there, right? This is normally within segment 2. So by time segment 2's up, you've put in your high, right? Your time when you put in your high and low is in the first 20 minutes. Right? Now we're getting that we take the low, given as our high for the hour or 4 hour. Boom. True direction, retap, continuation. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be looking at adding probability of once we break below, what's the probability of price coming back above, right? But ultimately, it is still tiered with the hourly data, right? In that nearly every single hour is above 70% probability in the first 20 minutes. You're going to get your high and low of a candle, right? And some hours within the first 10 minutes, it's very, very high probability that we've got our high, right? Our high or low. Very much like here. Like, our high's put in within 4 minutes. We take the low and we formed our candle. Same thing here. Same thing here. This one is a little later on, just outside 20 minutes. This one is just on the 20-minute mark. In our 20 minutes. In our 20 minutes. Yeah, it's probably leaked out. In our 20 minutes. 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 Like, you know, there'll be the occasions where it doesn't play out. You feel like you're getting bummed in the right for taking the right trade, but getting hit by price. That's just trading, right? The consistency of taking the same setups, so the probabilities will play out, is what's really important. That's why I'm focused on kind of like, if I'm coming live in the morning at the same time, we need to be making sure I'm trading the most highest probability setup for that time period, and I'm going to take the same setups every morning so that the longevity of those probabilities will pay out. Will it play out every time? No. We've just seen this 4-hour fail, right? However, statistically, 70% of the time, if it's higher than that, it was 80% of the time, that setup's going to play for me. Right? Think about it. If the 4 hours going to be bearish, it means the 4 hours got to close below that level. Right? My entry was here. Yes, I'm targeting the low, but even if it fails to take the low, it's very likely to close bearish, and therefore it's got to close below this open, which means it's going to be around my entry, right? So worst case scenario, it doesn't take the low, 4 hour closes, we go break even, or we take a slight loss, or the trade doesn't work out. Alternatively, I've still got huge probability of the low going, over 50% of the time we're taking the entry. So you know, we still play those odds, but it's important to play them every time, right? We want to play them. Right, my time window's gone for this trade. So I want to be taking my lazy boy entries by this point. Although we still have got liquidity above. See, the statistic for the high is gone now, right? So we've taken the high. So when this finished, we had like a 74% probability this high was going to go, and boom, obviously the high is now gone. We do have the 4 hour, right? So we're expecting, we've got only got another hour on this 4 hour. Just on the alpha boxes there, Aaron, the probability on the alpha boxes is at the back of the list right now. I want to get the lazy boy indicator finished. I want to get the individual candles for the owl in 4 hour finished with the probabilities for each one. That's priority. Alpha boxes are an area for entry. They are an area where you can take price from support and resistance that, as I've shown with that pattern, happens a lot, right? We break above, we retest, we continue, right? Similar pattern. And you're just looking to take your piece of the pie at that point. And isn't it interesting how those setups are happening very often in the second hour of your 4 hour candle? First hour, you put in your higher low. Second hour, we get our true direction. First hour, second hour, right? Here's our daily candle, which would have been the previous 4 hour, right? So we go bullish, we don't break below, and then obviously we hold all the way along on this 4 hour and continue taking highs. Yeah, I mean, obviously we are, you know, when we first started MaxAlgo, we said to everybody, like, there's a lot more to come. We've got a lot more vision on making things clearer, making things more precise, giving people a statistical edge that they can use based on when they trade. Just wondering if we're just going to hold this previous hour, break up to this, or that we might return back to our hourly. You can see where the 4 hour rejected, right? previous hourly level. We come up, we break through. Okay, so the algo's just switching at this point here. For us to close bearish, we'd have to close below the current open. Just going to get rid of the 4-hour open. Obviously we are correcting. So 34 minutes. Just missed the 50% tap. Let's have a look whether it would have been on it. Oh, okay. So possible if you were still playing the late. I mean, it's literally to the tick. So you might not have got taken in on that. Might not. It was literally to the tick, the 50%. Let's see if we can't drag 1 hour out of this to that liquidity level. Wow. I just need to stay off stream. What should we got left? 905 today. Bim, 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 bim. That'll do. I wanted it to go straight away. 793. I'd rather take small losses and then a bigger win. So it's just this sideways correction. I was just expecting after that pull back in that was over and we'd see that distribution up. But it just stuck around a bit longer. I'm going to look at NQ and it's going to be a dream, isn't it? It's not even funny.
It's not what you want to hear.
NQ just went off on one, so I don't think I'd have been able to pull anything on that anyway. As China said something this morning.
I'm aware of.
That's quite a big candle on NQ for New York, or it could be Europe, something like that. I think it was the London Open. It's a very big candle for London Open. I mean, like 300 ticks in 5 minutes. Or is it just London? Get my coat off now, it's a bit warm. It was freezing in here before.
It's warm in here now.
It's not warm. You're just going through your menopause.
No. You literally live in a coat and with the heating on 365 days of the year.
Have a baby. It's got to be warm for the baby. How are you this morning anyway?
Is the baby in here?
No?
Well, then shut up then.
How's your eyes today?
That's my eyes.
Ready to look at code again?
Do you mean today? I started today.
Oh, did you?
Still doing it at 1 a.m.
Were you?
Yeah.
Were you having a fun time at 1 a.m?
No, it was not time at 1 a.m.
Okay, so we get a nice tap back. We're coming back into our hourly. Will we come? So we're not. We have tapped the 4 hour. We didn't tap the 1 hour. So possible. Where's Trend AI gone? Chile. Telling you now, if it's a chip chop hour. There's back to our hourly. I'll show you. That's our current hour. wanted a little bit less of a reaction than that from here so that I could look for an entry. I was thinking more of like, you know, a wick and then a rejection. Not a giant candle. Oh, come on. Okay, what are? Four hours bearish. Interesting. I'm gonna wait. $130, 500. This is going to come back under. Now I can see potential correction. That's better. Another rejection. Didn't close below. Ah. Right. So we're just about 1R. I have been brilliant at picking the tops at the moment. Brilliant at picking the tops. Nice one, Aaron. So I want to see dynamic TP go, which obviously went, and then by the time the candle closed, would flipped. So I want to see that change now, like that. So the correction over continuation, and then targeting liquidity above or the existing high. Want to see the MACD go green, come over again, and yeah, let's see if we can get this 1R trade out. I've got areas above. We have just transitioned in line with the higher time frame. Could run it for the top. Might try and add one more in the next hour if it carries on in the same direction. That'll be our risk. If the other hour goes bearish, then that's our risk. If it goes bullish, we can look to add. And if it does carry on, so obviously we've had a transition, right? So we've gone higher time frames bullish. So we've transitioned bearish. We've had a correction. Potentially that correction's now over, and we're going bullish, which means we could expect the higher time frame to continue, which means we could expect the highs, the current highs, to go during that period. The daily's bullish, so started off bullish, so it could happen. Current 4 hours just flip bullish. So obviously we've got this previous alpha box here where we rejected from. So we've got our 1R to our liquidity at 78% probability this high goes today. Just going to get rid of this now. Don't want to see weakness in price now. If we're going to see that volatility, we want to see it kick in. So it's almost like the end of the hour, volatility kicks in, and then the current hour starts and continues that volatility for a really bullish. You see, you're getting it now, Aaron. They are great points where price returns to and carries on. Shut up, you. Just go and die in your own live stream. So this is not what we want to see, right? We wanted to see correction, continuation, volatility into the upside, continuation on the hourly. Nothing's been playing out as I've been planning them anyway. So here, right, we had that rejection out of the fair value gap. We came back up. We took out our 4 hour, and we were expecting that, okay, well, we're going to do that. Then we could continue on and take out this high, which is this high here. That was the play. This is the play. We've got this inverse fair value, well, this fair value gap, which we've, come through, but not closed. I'm not sure if we exactly closed below it, closed just in it, but anyway. And then this one, obviously, we've reacted out of. 5 more minutes until our new hour. So here's what I'm thinking. Obviously I don't want to see price come back below or back into this area. I don't want to see it come below our current hour. If we're going to open, we could open a new hour, retrace, close off the gap between candles, right? Which often happens. Could we come all the way back down to this fib? Possibly. More likely to here. But we really want to see it go now. Fuck's sake, come on. A bit like this. This is what I was hoping for. That break, slight pullback, and then continue on. And potentially we could have added around here. But in this same candle. I'm going to wait for the next hour now. That's not what I wanted to see at the end of the hour. So as I said, I'd rather just take small losses, and then when I get the setup that I'm looking for and it plays out the right way, it's a much bigger win than what I'm losing on these little losses. That should take us to 700. 728, yeah. 728. Nice. Nice. It's this fucking second hour is my trade all the time. And I'm not here for this fucking second hour. It's driving me mental. Nice break. Messy 4 hour as well. Messy, messy, messy. Nice 1 hour long. Bullish. Off the alpha box. Back to the 4 hour. It's that bloody hour again. Alright, we've got 2 minutes left for this hour. So this is our current hourly candle. That's a very large wick. We expect this to be our 4 hour low. Let's just have a look. So if we're expecting this 4 hour to be bullish, Then there's still a 55% probability of another high. So good chance, a very good chance. It's more than likely we see another high. This high, currently, that is. Right, new hour. No pullback. Slight wick. Here's our current 4-hour candle. Come on. So this volatility is what I wanted off of the volatility of this end to this candle. And then that continuation would be the push for the liquidity. Right, this is going to be my... Ooh. Didn't see you flipping there. Corrective bullish. Four-hour high, so we expect that to go. It's likely. More likely in the second half an hour than the first. We're inside this previous hour. I wanted it to just volume through. If it does it now, I won't catch it again. Okay, first 5 minutes. Right. My concern is pullback, breakout, breakout. We're still failing to take this high. There's a little tap. Would have liked a little bit deeper. What time are we on? 6 minutes. There's a good chance this is our hourly low. What's for the see? What's the stats for this hour on gold? Have you not got them? I thought, is the indicator, is the hourly one there?
I've not got the hourly one on now, I'm working on the other one.
Is it in the indicators?
No.
Not saved?
No.
Oh. I thought we did it yesterday. Oh, okay, fine. No worries. Two more minutes for segment one. Don't need that one. So remember, we expect our hourly candle to be formed most of the time by now, right? So this is our hourly candle. The question is, do we think this is our high and we're going to flip bearish and come back down, right? Or is this our bullish candle, that's our low, and that we're going to go on? This is why I'm waiting a second. Here's our hourly low.
It's called 24-hour candle tracker.
Okay, so we've taken our low. So now, we're now more expecting to be bearish, right? Possibly the 4 hour. 600. So, explaining stuff while trading. Hang on. So obviously this is our, we expect this to be the high for the hour. I'm trying to be a little bit more aggressive. So we've taken the low of the hour, right? Here in the first segment, so it's an early indication. It's an early indication that there's high probability that this is our high. Again, not guarantee. Just being a bit messy. So the only thing I'm looking for is potential return to the hourly, the previous hour, maybe a push either then or just even to the low of that. This 2 hours has not been kind to me for the last week and a half. This period's been great. Started the day off over 1,000 up. What are we now? Down to 500. Come on. So I'm not expecting any massive runners. I'm only looking for a return, right, to the either the hourly or the 4 hour. If we are going to go bearish, possibly like this.
And two.
Oh, so this is 5 till 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hang on. So we can see this hourly candle, the last 36 of them. In fact, I'm going to go up again. We can see that the probability in the first 10 minutes is about 47% probability that the high's in. And then we have a 16%. But if you look at segment 4 in this hour, that has been a bit messy. The previous hour is much stronger. Much stronger. So this hour's not a great hour for us on gold. Obviously I didn't know that because we've only just started. This has just been done now. So we can see the previous hour gives me a real edge in that first 10 minutes. The current hour, not so much. Which is a shame. If I'd have known that before this hour, I probably would have waited longer. But this is the point of the indicators, right? This is why we're launching them, so that we can plan out the exact times that we trade and where those individual hours and 4 hours are high probability. So right now, for me, obviously with this data, this isn't a high probability trade for me. I'd have wanted to wait for at least now the high and low to go to give me my bias. You can see even the last 9, right? 22, 33 in the first hour, first 20 minutes. Then it's pretty even, and our distributions in the end. I've got it. Just got onto it now. Wish I'd have got onto it before I took the trade. It shows this hour. So the previous hour on gold, the first 10 minutes is really high. It's like 65% probability of putting in the high and low. This hour drops a lot. So segment 1 and 2 are really important in this hour, both of them. So an early signal in this hour is not enough. In the previous hour, it's absolutely enough, right? We get our low within that period. $400 up. I'm out. I'm closing it before it even hits. I'll wait now for the highs and lows. Now I've got the data. So this hour we need to see this and this go. So we go up to the 10 minutes again. If we break it into 3, so we're just looking at the 20-minute segments now. You can see 63. If I go up a time frame again, if I go to the 20 minutes. Yeah, so 70, 65. It's not crazy high in the first 20 minutes. If we look at the previous hour, 72, 78. 70, 69, 73, 71, bad hour, that one. That's New York Open, I think. 10's good. 10 to 11. That first hour at 10 to 11 has been great. Yeah. So that's a good one as well. Strong hour. Let's go back to where we are. So we are in our 5 till 6. High's now gone. Can now look for that. No, not yet. We're above the 50%, so we've got a probability of bullish. Can't believe I'm flipping again. It's fucking driving me insane.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. Right. So our 20 minutes is up. So this hour, now we've got a high probability. We've closed above the 50%, so we've got a 77% probability of this high going. The high goes, this is our low, bullish hour. Otherwise, I've just had a fabulous morning. You're watching me give back all my profit. The curse of the live stream for me at the moment. We're going to break that curse, get back to our winning streak. Oh, yeah. Absolute fucking joke. Let's look at NQ stats. Wow. Fun and games. There's NQ. So this hour on NQ. Wow. 87%, 81% probability of the high and low in the first 20 minutes. Woo. Right, we need to collect more data on that one. Let's go up to the 20 minute. So these are individual candles, which is obviously why it's harder to collect data. So the last 163 days, bullish and bearish candles, you can see that 87% of the time on the bullish candles, the low's been in the first 20 minutes, and 80% of the time the high's been in the first 20 minutes. So really, really strong hour for NQ. Previous hours not bad. Previous hours pretty good as well. So the hourly data on NQ, as you can see, is really strong this morning. During the morning, just the 4 hours not as great. But this hour now, so 10 to 11 on UK time on NQ, it's really good. You can see these 2 hours, which is around our New York Open and news. Probability drops, right? So you've got 8 till 9, 9 till 10, New York time. Our hourly probabilities are not great. And then 10 till 11, We're up at 80%, 77. And then a little drop off. Not as good that hour. That's okay. And then again, back to hitting the 70s. That's a bad hour as well. So 4 till 6 is bad hour. And then I think it's the last hour of the day. You can see high probability in the first 20 minutes. All right, let's see how much money I've lost. There we go. That's now stonked us. I'm now down to £49 from 1,000 this morning. Wow. Fuck you, gold. Where am I? Oh, it's because it didn't let me stop below the low. That's been shitty. So 6,498. Should have just had my stop below there. I mean, it's really choppy, right? Here's the open. It's going to go on in it now. You motherfucker.
Yeah.
So, in the last half an hour, which is in 3 minutes, this is when you can expect the 4-hour high to go. We're going to go bullish. It's like 38%, 40% probability. Oh, you little bastard.
Okay, I'm with you. Talk to you in the car.
Right. Should have just placed it below that bit.
Okay.
Right, bud. No. That's so annoying. Where did I have my stop then? Probably there. Fuck. Fuck. What did I do then? Fibs. Yeah. Not having a good day. I mean, obviously right now we're above the open, we're bullish. We've closed above the open more often. We'd expect to have a bullish hour. So I still expect this high to go. So the one-to-one trade, I don't know why. Oh, I think I've got my thing to say. If I had a loss today, I'll lock it out. Fuck it. I can only lose so much in a day. Can't remember where it is. I think because I've taken 3 losing trades, the account's locked. Look at another one. What else we can trade? All this trade. Probably should have changed accounts anyway once there was 1,000 up. Oh. Yeah. It's probably a good idea. Lazy Boy is the best setup. It's just obviously if you're only trading a couple of hours a day, it can be difficult. What I'm trying to do is trade the exact same hours every day, take the exact same setups and let the probabilities play out, right? And don't be like, I've back tested this, and when I back test it, I've always ended up in profit and had some good runs. So just got to be patient. So for example, like I'll use what did I use last night? I used FX replay. So I put FX replay on last night. Took this 9 till 10, and I just back tested that particular hour for about 3 months with the alpha boxes. See you later, Aaron. I think that'll do me for the live stream as well, to be fair. I've just this 4 hours basically over. Originally, obviously, we were looking for that tap back in, targeting a return to the 4 hour, and then obviously we've just chopped. given back the profit that we made today. So we'll just finish the day up. Yikes. Pretty poo. No lazy boy setups today, which is unfortunate. Or there was this one, but by the time it got to the entry, time had run out. If you had taken it, you'd have been a break even. So yeah, I mean, obviously I've only traded these 2 hours. Before, obviously when I was traveling into work, missed this one. But that would have been the ideal trade. We come below the hour, come below the 4 hour, take the 4 hour low, tap back up, everything's bearish, and then we get that continuation. Here, obviously it was a shame because we'd put in our high statistical high, but yeah. And again, this was the trade I was looking for, with us failing to come up, go a bit choppy, that was potentially returning, but hey ho. Back to our hourly low taken. Let's see. All right, guys, we're going to crack on and get back to work on these indicators, on the probabilities. So other than that, have a good day. I'll see you in the Discord. No more trading for me today. See you later. Bye.